6.3 FM Benin, and we're talking about the Super Falcons storming back to defeat the Copper Queens of Zambia by 1 goal to nothing. That solitary goal was scored by six-time African Women's Footballer of the Year, Asisat Oshoala, who is affectionately called Agbabola. She scored that goal in the 8th minute of the encounter, the number 8, who usually warms the bench, of course, in the last two tournaments. Unfortunately, for the six-time African Women's Footballer of the Year, Esther Okoronkwo has been preferred to her. Other players, including Jamisi, Gift Monday, has been languishing on the bench, but that is not the story. Asisat Oshoala scored the only goal as the Super Falcons came back from that defeat against the Scorchers of Malawi to register the first win of the tournament. Now they play the Cleopatras of Egypt in the last group game to ensure qualification, or cement, because they haven't qualified, and hoping that the other match goes in their favor, but they have to do their job by defeating the Cleopatras, who have been the basement girls in the group so far. Lost 6-0 to Zambia. Barbara Banda has scored 4 goals in this tournament, which has made her the top scorer because she scored those goals against the Cleopatras of Egypt. All right, and they have the 5 stars on their jersey, not that they have won any African women's tournament. Of course, they are men, or 7 stars actually, because the Pharaohs of Egypt, their male counterparts, have won 7 AFCON tournaments. We remember the likes of Hassan, Ahmed Mido, Esam El Hadri, and co. All right, so looking at the furtherance of WAFCON, we know that Tosin Oluwatosin Blessing the Mehin was sent off in the first half of that match, and also our very dependable Jennifer Onyinyechi Echegini also was cautioned in this encounter as well, which has led to a suspension. She had that caution in the first match against the Scorchers of Malawi, had another caution in the second match against Zambia that has effectively ruled her out of the deciding match against the Cleopatras. Unfortunately, Nigeria will have to do without the Mehin in defense and the Chejini in midfield, 2 powerhouses in their own right. All right, so the likes of Osinachi, Ohale, and others have to do without the Mehin in defense. Michelle Alozie was deservedly named woman of the match in that encounter against the Copper Queens of Zambia. All right, so the Super Falcons will be looking to do a lot better against the Cleopatra, score many goals and not concede any in order to go to the next round of WAFCON. The aim is not only to win the 11th, a record extending 11th WAFCON, but to qualify for the World Cup, which is scheduled to hold next year. All right, so that is for the Super Falcons. So many transfer news, so so much. Actually, Chelsea ahead of everyone else right now. They brought in Danny Welbeck, so many players back. We are going to tell you the friendly matches that have been played. Arsenal defeating Girona, Manchester United defeating Atletico Madrid, and Tottenham playing with 10 men, defeating Chelsea under Xabi Alonso, because Chelsea scored first. But that did not Tottenham scored first, Chelsea equalized, but that has not deterred Xabi Alonso in the transfer market. They are looking to seal the Jordan Henderson deal as well, and they have signed 7 players thus far. Jordan Henderson signing will make it the 8th. So they're pretty much ready for the new season, which commences in 3 weeks on the 21st of August. The Premier League will return to our screens. So it is time to go straight into transfer news. Let's not forget that there's a lot to also talk about in terms of tennis as well. Venus Williams losing her 10th singles match of the year in Canada. So much to say. At the City Open in Washington, sponsored by Mobile, Alexander Erla and Jessica Pegula are still playing the final. Jessica won the first set 6-4 and is trailing the Filipino 1-2 in the second set. It was suspended due to bad weather conditions, and Rafael Jada is scheduled to play Taylor Fritz in the final of the City Open as well. In Memphis, WTA Memphis, a 16-year-old also emerged victorious after they also defeated the defending champion of Los Cabos, Denis Shapovalov, in the final match. So we'll be giving you blow-by-blow analysis of all these matches in tennis. But first, we go straight to transfers. What has happened in the transfer front? So many clubs have been active in the transfer market. So we are going to give you straightforward analysis on all of it. Okay. So transfer news, like we promised, we have said that Danny Welbeck has signed the dotted lines at Chelsea. Is now a Chelsea player on a 2-year deal. Very good for Danny Welbeck. Who would have thought Danny Welbeck becomes the first player in Premier League history to play for Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea. The first player ever was George Graham, but that was not in the Premier League. So Danny Welbeck is the first player in Premier League history to play for Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea. All right, so Tottenham plan to step up their efforts to try to sign Cody Gakpo as talk will enter into key stages soon. So that's a big one. Cody Gakpo is probably interested in leaving Liverpool to join Tottenham, who could have been relegated last season, but for luck and Roberto De Zerbi. All right, so let's see if Cody Gakpo to Tottenham will continue to develop, or Liverpool will shut down rumors and probables in that regard. Inter Milan completed the signing of John Stones on a 2-year deal. The free agent decided to become a Nerazzurri rather than continue his career in the Premier League. We remember that Arsenal and Chelsea were interested in signing him. So Inter expected to make the final decision soon on the Cuti Romero deal. No issues on agreement with Spurs. On the fee, Romero asks same salary as he has at Tottenham. Inter to decide soon as more clubs are keen on the Argentine. All right, so let's see on the Argentinian, if Christian Romero is leaving Tottenham. Let's see if he is going to be paired alongside John Stones, because Inter, they've got defenders there already. We don't know the plan of Christian Kivu, who won Serie A the first time of asking last season. PSG plan to accelerate and close the Zion Suzuki deal after the 33 million euros package bid was exclusively revealed by sources. All right, negotiations have continued for Zion Suzuki, who intends to leave Parma for PSG. But right now, is he going to start at PSG? It remains to be seen, because Luis Enrique doesn't really guarantee anyone a starting berth. Maybe the likes of Vicha Cavacelia or Osman Dembele are probably untouchables there, but pretty much everyone else. Well, Vitina and Neves and Marquinhos are also untouchables as well. There's a Redway. If not, why not? Bradley Bakula is still interested in going to Liverpool, but negotiations are underway and will continue this week. Ipswich Town have reached an agreement to sign Fiorentino Luis as a new midfielder from Burnley. So Ipswich Town, they're back in the Premier League and making big moves. Right, so Parma, like we said, we haven't said this. Parma reached a verbal agreement with Atalanta for El Bilal Toure to join on loan with an 11 million euros buy clause. All right, so the final steps needed. Toure will accept personal terms. Personal terms are usually not an issue. So usually the club-to-club scene that is protracted at different points in time. All right, so while Mario is the new fullback for Fiorentina, La Viola, we remember, had that match against Real Madrid, that friendly that ended in a 2-2 draw. Moise Kean scored a goal for Fiorentina in that encounter. AC Milan have turned down a loan with buy option approach for Fenerbahce for Rafael Leao. Contacts continue, but no way for a loan. AC Milan have reiterated that there will be no acceptance of a loan offer for Rafael Leao. 50 million minimum or nothing. 50 million euros minimum and upwards of that for Rafael Leao to leave AC Milan. All right. So Vozinha has arrived in Chile to join Colo Colo. They've been talking about this deal for the best part of 10 days. Finally, it is getting to the stage where Vozinha will sign eventually for Colo Colo. Okay, Schalke 04 decide to put Jesper Lindstrom deal on standby even after a medical was done on Sunday. Napoli authorized Jesper to undergo medical, but Schalke are currently not proceeding after exchanging documents. Well, the deal is in jeopardy. Nobody knows why, but let's see if there will be developments in that regard. Gio Reyna to RC Strasbourg. Here we go. All right, here we go for Gio Reyna. We remember Gio Reyna is the son of American football legend Claudio Reyna, and he has been playing for Borussia Dortmund the best part of 4 or 5 years. FC Cologne have sent an official bid to sign Michael Moore on loan from Tottenham. Negotiations are at advanced stages with Tottenham as the deal could be completed next week, with Moore open to the move. All right. So that is that for that. Right, Vallecano are closing in on the deal to sign Marash Kombola on loan from AS Roma. All right, so Valentin Bako has joined Chelsea from sister club all under the blue coat. All under the blue coat. We remember Todd Burley getting Chelsea quickly, and that blue coat Strasbourg are part of. So Strasbourg are a sister club to Chelsea. That's why Kerem Allied Bergevik didn't want to go to Chelsea, because he was going to be moved out on loan at Strasbourg. But for Strasbourg, they've also allowed Valentin Bako to join Chelsea. We remember that altercation between Valentin Bako and Jude Bellingham after Argentina defeated England in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Paris Saint-Germain, new round of talks with Ferran Torres camp, and decision will be in the player's hands if he's going to leave Barcelona or not. So let's see. Hamed Abdulkarim is doing very well. Scored a couple of goals for Barcelona, the Egyptian 18-year-old. So maybe the strike department is in good hands, but they'll definitely need someone with experience to lead the line for them. Barcelona, they've signed Karim Adeyemi and Tony Gordon, but they are not exactly strikers. They are wing forwards. So let's see how that continues. And we will continue to give you blow-by-blow accounts as events unfold. All right. So Real Oviedo agree to sign Estaris Pedrola from Sampdoria. All right. With medical tests to follow today. Okay. So that's for that. PSG have offered Ajax 40 million for Mika Götze to set up before negotiations moving very fast, because PSG as well as Real Madrid, or just like Real Madrid, don't like to delay in terms of transfers. Right, so many more. Manchester United interested in signing Lewis Hall. They've been interested for a long time now. They are looking at the possibility of also getting Lewis Kelly from Arsenal. I don't see how Arsenal will let that guy leave, but yeah, in football anything can happen. I woke up one morning and saw that Van Persie was leaving Arsenal to Manchester United. So impossible is nothing when it comes to transfers. We have seen so many transfers. Luis Figo left Barcelona's captain to Real Madrid. So many things have happened in football. So you'll be foolish to say that something cannot happen. Como are closing in on Yankoto deal after long negotiations for the right back. Broad agreement done with Borussia Dortmund being raided. Unfortunately, it's being raided. Let's see if they will have some reinforcements, because right now so many players are leaving Borussia Dortmund. One little Bournemouth, here we go, deal done. All right, so Sevilla will receive 11 million euros fixed plus 2 million add-ons for the Spanish right back. So that's Bournemouth have gotten their man. Mikhailo Modric, who has been cleared to play after initially getting suspended, is flying today to Hong Kong to join the Chelsea squad and make himself available to the manager Javi Alonso with immediate effect. We will wish the Ukrainian the best of luck as he returns to football, the game he loves. Newcastle have started plans to bring in a new midfielder with new coach Matthias Yaisel involved, as Bruno Guimaraes is expected to become an Arsenal player shortly because Christian Nogard has left Arsenal as well, going to Everton, or is leaving Arsenal to Everton. That deal is pretty much wrapped up. So Bruno Guimaraes is going to Arsenal and going straight into their starting 11. I guarantee that, I am telling you that Bruno Guimaraes is not going to sit on the bench for anyone. All right, Aston Villa have been informed by Juventus about plans not to proceed with Dibu Martinez deal anymore. The decision was made, well, internally days ago. All right, so Aston Villa have informed, or Juventus on the other hand, have informed Aston Villa that they are no longer interested in continuing with the Emiliano Martinez or Dibu Martinez deal. The goalkeeper usually is one step away from leaving Aston Villa, then something mysterious happens. Well, let's see. If his move to another club is highly unlikely, but never say never, like I said before. Roberto De Zerbi has also applauded the Modric return to football, saying he is his son. Misha is a cool guy, a top player. Hopefully, he can show what he suffered the last 2 seasons in this coming season. Maybe not against Tottenham, not praying for him to play well against Tottenham, but yeah, you can play well against any other club. All right, so happy for Modric. Nobody is happy when food is taken out of anybody's mouth. So Modric not just getting back to football, but earning his pay and is being able to take care of his family. All right, so Matthias Yaisler has signed his contract as Newcastle head coach until June 2030, and the announcement has also been made by Newcastle. The 38-year-old has left Al Ahly to replace Eddie Howe as the coach of Newcastle. Mikel Gutierrez to Bayer Leverkusen. Here we go. Napoli verbally accepted a 30 million euro proposal from Bayer for the left back. I don't know why Bayern are buying left back, but all right, they Bayer Leverkusen, they had to get a left back because Alejandro Grimaldo left for Atletico Madrid. All right, so final details on the Randal Kolo Muani deal to Juventus. Permanent deal, 38 million euros plus 12 million in add-ons. So Randal Kolo Muani, despite having he hasn't really impressed in the last 2 seasons. The last time he played well was at Eintracht Frankfurt, went to PSG, huge money deal. Missed that glorious chance for France in 2022 World Cup final, but that is not to say he's not a good player. Was at Juventus for some time, then went to Tottenham on loan, but now Luciano Spalletti seems to okayed the deal, and now he is going to become an old lady permanently in a 38 million euros deal plus 12 million euros in add-ons. So right, so Bournemouth are in advanced talks to sign Wan Lu. Wan Lu has signed for Bournemouth, so that is that. Juventus new signing Kerim Alaberjovic has just arrived. Well, he arrived in Turin, and the medicals and everything else will be done. Danny Welbeck is happy to have signed for Chelsea at 35 years old. He's pushing on 36. The guys know in the dressing room that he is a shoulder to lay on. That's him telling them that they can depend on him for anything because he is an old head. He's 35 years old, has played for Manchester United and Arsenal previously. There is no higher ceiling than that. All right, not just that he featured prominently for Manchester United and Arsenal. Languished on the bench for some time at Manchester United, but cemented a starting bet. He repaid the fate at some point. The fate that Sir Alex Ferguson, the great Sir Alex Ferguson, had in him. All right. So, well, Ezekiel Palacios, options to leave Bayer Leverkusen after several years with titles. So, well, I'm ready for a new chapter. Ipswich, RB Leipzig, among the host of other clubs, are interested in signing Ezekiel Palacios, dependable when he is not injured. Very, very good player. Seen him play so many times, and yeah, he reminds me of Charles Aranguiz sometimes. But well, let's see if he can go to a new club. All these guys, they always want pastures new. Some of them deliver as as well as they should. Arsenal in direct talks to sign Bruno Guimaraes, who is definitely going to Arsenal now that the path has been cleared. Matthias Jaisler, the new coach, has said that he can leave for Arsenal because that's what he has always wanted. JJ Gabriel made his first team debut for Manchester United in an unofficial game. The 15-year-old is the youngest ever to make a first team debut for Manchester United. We know Manchester United are big on academy players. So many, in fact, since 1938, an academy player has been named in the team sheet of every league game since 1938. I do not think that record is unassailable. I do not think it can be broken by any other club. All right. So JJ Gabriel, who was in number 77 jersey, came on for came on in the second half as Manchester United defeated Atletico, came from a goal down, courtesy a Brian Mbumo double. Brian Mbumo ready for the new season. Benjamin Sesko hasn't featured at all in preseason. The next match is against PSG in Sweden. Let's see, there are some returning players. Some players are definitely coming today. Mourinho has said for Real Madrid, Brahim Diaz, Vinicius Junior, and Bernardo Silva will be back at the Vallecas today. So for Manchester United, some of these World Cup players will be back. Last week, Yuri Tillemans and Senna Lemens, who was blamed for that goal at Howler in the semi-final against Spain. Still the world number, yeah, unfortunately, sorry. He's still the number one goalkeeper at Manchester United at the moment. Hopefully, he's going to put that behind him and get on with the job this season. He cannot afford to be sloppy, no mistakes, because Manchester United want to build up that third place finish. Highly unlikely that they were going to finish third, but Michael Carrick came on and turned on a corner, and Manchester United qualified for the Champions League. Now they've got Andre Santos, they've got Yuri Tillemans, they've got Carl Dallo. They are intending to sign a few more to bolster the ranks. They've got good defenders, but Lisandro Martinez is crocked at the moment, injured. Matthias De Ligt not looking at well. Matthias De Ligt is not looking like he's going to recover quickly from his persistent back injury. He underwent back surgery, just like Rodri as well. Rodri is also going to join Real Madrid, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Florentino Perez has okayed that deal, and Madrid will be prepared to pay as much as 50 million euros for the 30-year-old. Currently, the best midfielder in the world, won the Golden Ball, the first Premier League player in history to win the Golden Ball at a World Cup tournament. Nobody else has done it. So he's completed football, really. He's won the World Cup. He's won player of the tournament at the World Cup, won the Ballon d'Or, won the Champions League, won many league titles, played under Pep Guardiola, Luis de la Fuentes, played under Diego Simeone. That resume is intimidating. So Rodri will be looking to cement his legacy and legend when he goes to Real Madrid and will be slotted in straight. Edu Camavinga did quite well in the last preseason game, but I do not think that when Rodri is in your team, Camavinga will start ahead of him. It's a no-brainer, really. So we are looking at Real Madrid speeding up that transfer as quickly as possible, even though Rodri is on the mend after undergoing back surgery last Monday. It's been a week since that happened. I'm sure that Real Madrid will be interested in completing that deal so that they know that the transfer business is complete. They have brought in Ibrahim Konate from Liverpool on the free. They've brought in Bernardo Silva from Manchester City on a free. They got Denzel Dumfries for just 20 million euros from Inter Milan. And they've also got they are close to signing Jan Diomande from RB Leipzig in a 135 million euros package. So let's see how that pans out for the guys. They've also extended the contract of Tony Rudiger as well. Mourinho has faith in him, and they're looking at also letting the fringe players like Gonzalo Garcia, Raul Asensio leave. Probably Fulham will be the next destination for these guys, as former Real Madrid coach and ex-player Alvaro Abaloa is now in charge at Craven Cottage. So Real Madrid, they've signed very good players, and hopefully they can sign more. Yeah. So that's for that. In tennis, remember we said that the final in Washington between Alex Ayala and Jessica Pegula was going on. Jessica Pegula won that first set 6-4 and was trailing the Filipino 1-2 in the second set. Hopefully that will be completed today. Weather conditions affected the completion of that match. Rafael Jadar and Taylor Fritz are also hoping to play their final as well. But in Los Cabos, Atiel Zil defeated the defending champion, Denis Shapovalov, in straight sets to win his first tour level title. Yeah. So that's his first tour level title. Then the Shapovalov showed glimpses of that form that made him one of the most promising players in tennis, even though he has fallen short of that a long time ago. Injuries, loss of form, expected. In tennis, you have to stay consistent in order to have a chance of gaining that momentum and doing very well in future games. So it is important that these things happen for players who are interested in doing very well for their respective in their respective careers. We are going to also give you the youngest Grand Slam winners in history as we prepare for the US Open, which will be holding as usual at Flushing Meadows. That is the very place that the great Billie Jean King, 12-time Grand Slam champion, said pressure is a privilege. All right, so the youngest Grand Slam champions will come your way now. Very, very strong list of the youngest Grand Slam champions. All right, so let's give you that as quickly as possible while we wait for that to happen. Let's also tell you that Venus Williams lost her 10th straight singles match, of course, in Canada. Unfortunately for the 46-year-old American tennis legend, she's losing far too many singles for everyone's liking. So many of her fans are concerned that she is not winning matches anymore. All right, so for the youngest Grand Slam champions in history, Martina Hingis at 16 years 117 days, Monica Seles at 16 years 189 days, Tracy Austin at 16 years 270 days, Maria Sharapova, we remember the 2004 Wimbledon final, at 17 years 75 days, Michael Chang at 17 years 110 days, Arantxa Vicario at 17 years 174 days, Boris Boom Boom Becker also at Wimbledon at 17 years 227 days, Matt Wilander at 17 years 293 days. The Swede won 7 Grand Slam tournaments. Björn Borg, another Swede, 18 years 10 days, won 11 Grand Slam tournaments, 6 at Roland Garros and 5 at Wimbledon. Rafael Nadal completes the list, 19 years 2 days, that first final against Mariano Puerta in the 2005 French Open final after upending Roger Federer in the semi-final of that tournament. Since then, Rafael Nadal won 22 Grand Slam tournaments, won 21 in addition to that maiden Grand Slam triumph, and Rafael Nadal has gone down as one of the greatest players of all time. All right, we are looking at this list, and there is no one that it didn't end up as a tennis legend here. All these Grand Slam winners. If you win one Grand Slam title, you are a tennis legend, because it is not easy. There are many people who did very well in their careers and never won a Grand Slam. David Ferrer comes to mind, Elena Dementieva in the women's side. Looking at this list, we're seeing only I think it's probably a balanced list, because for the men, Michael Chang, Boris Becker, Mats Wilander, Björn Borg, and Rafael Nadal. For the women, Martina Hingis, Monica Seles, 9 Grand Slam wins for championships for her. She would have won more if not for that unfortunate incident where a Steffi Graf fan stabbed her twice at the back. All right. So for the women, Martina, Monica, Tracy, Maria, and Arancia. So it's 5 for the men and 5 for the women. A balanced list, and all 10 of them are tennis legends without a shadow of a doubt, unarguably tennis legends in their own right. So that's giving you the youngest Grand Slam champions in history. People winning at 16 years, at 17 years, at 18 years, at 19 years. It begs the question, where were you at 16? What were you doing at 19? What were you doing at 18? So it's a question that is begging for answers for anyone who is interested in having a look back at what they have done with their lives while others are doing well. There's always that time for introspection. There's always that time to appraise where you are at and what you can do. So Atiaze, like we said, defeated Denis Shapovalov. All right, and we'll continue to say that because it is no mean feat for the Frenchman. He upset him to capture his first ATP Tour title, and now that he has won his first ATP Tour title, he will definitely want to kick on from there. There are people who have 100 plus. Well, Jimmy Connors comes to mind, even Lendl as well. Jimmy Connors won 7 or 8 Grand Slam titles, as well as Ivan Lendl, 8 from 19 finals. Ivan Lendl used to coach Andy Murray, who won 3 Grand Slam titles in his own right in his career as well. But right now, there are some new guys, some new kids on the block. Carlos Alcaraz, 7-time Grand Slam champion, who has completed tennis in a way, hasn't won the Olympic gold yet. Came up short when he lost to Novak Djokovic the last time out. Novak is definitely the greatest player of all time. Numbers don't lie. Because in terms of numbers, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. You can call on people like Will Chamberlain. He set all the records but won only 2. Bill Russell won 11 or 12, but Michael Jordan 6 from 6 finals. So he's most people's choice for the greatest basketball player of all time. So everything has to do with numbers. That's why Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Edson Arantes de Nascimento, aka Pelé, Diego Armando Maradona, and the likes are always in the forefront. Well, when you're looking at this is my choice for the greatest player of all time, you don't look past those guys. Some people say Ronaldinho because he was an exceptional dribbler and a quality player, won 2 World Footballer of the Year awards in 2004 and 2005 respectively. So these are very good players who have done quite well in their careers. So that's why in tennis you have Rafael Nadal, Bjorn Borg, Pete Sampras won 14 Grand Slam titles, was definitely the reference point until Roger Federer raised the bar and Rafael Nadal stretched it forward and Novak Djokovic destroyed it after all. He's aiming for his 25th Grand Slam. Hasn't won it yet. Yannick Sinner keeps on denying him. Carlos Alcaraz keeps on denying him. But hopefully, if the stars align and he wins his 25th, that will be the highest ever. Because Margaret Williams Court for the women won 24. Serena Williams won 23. Steffi Graf won 22. Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova won 18 for the women. For the men, Novak is on 24, Rafa is on 22, Roger Federer is on 20, and Pete Sampras is on 14, right? And the likes of Bjorn Borg, Rod Laver, Bill Tilden, they've won 10, 11 and 10 respectively. Andre Agassi has won 8, but he's also won Olympic gold. And Andre Agassi won all the Grand Slam tournaments, won the French Open, won the US Open, won the Australian Open, and also won Wimbledon. So for the career Golden Slam, we have Novak, Rafa, and Andre Agassi. So some have won. Yannick, who is world number 1, has won 5 Grand Slam tournaments now, won 2 consecutive Wimbledon tournaments. He defeated Roland Garros champion Alexander Zverev in the final at Wimbledon. All right, so we're looking forward to Canada, where a lot of top players have withdrawn. Everybody's focused on Cincinnati. The return of Carlos Alcaraz is scheduled for Cincinnati in preparedness for the big one, the US Open at Flushing Meadows. So that's tennis at its finest. The likes of Mira Andreeva, who won Roland Garros and didn't do quite well at Wimbledon, will also be focused on doing very well at the US Open. Arina Sabalenka's #1 position is shaking. Elena Rybakina is looking forward to taking that #1 off her hands if it's a burden to her. Iga Swiatek, 6-time Grand Slam champion, will be looking to win the US Open as well. She's won everything else. She's won the French 4 times. She's also won Wimbledon, and she's not won Australian yet. Coco Gauff has won the US Open as well as the French Open as well. So Arina Sabalenka has won the US Open before, has won Australian Open, hasn't won the French, and hasn't won Wimbledon. Amanda Anisimova, who was double barreled in the Wimbledon final last year, will definitely also reach the US Open final. She will, of course, bounce back. That was mentally brilliant of her. That shows that she's got that mental adeptness to come back from that heavy defeat to reach another Grand Slam final. So we're looking at these guys doing very well in their respective careers as we have it. Serena Williams, we don't have news yet, but we know that she hopes to play at the US Open alongside her sister Venus. For the mixed doubles, Naomi Osaka, who reached the semi-finals at in Washington, was defeated 6-4, 6-2 by the high-rising Filipino Alexander Erla, who is currently playing the final against Jessica Pegula. Hopefully that starts soon. Naomi is hoping to play alongside Kei Nishikori in mixed doubles at the US Open. There's so many interesting developments that we are looking forward to. Let us not forget that the Super Falcons will be playing against the Cleopatras of Egypt on Wednesday, August 5. Let's all be there and clap in support of our women who have won 10 WAFCON tournaments. Asisat Oshoala has scored 15 WAFCON goals, still 19 behind the great Perpetua Nkocha, 4-time Women African Footballer of the Year, scored 4 goals in the final at WAFCON against Cameroon, and she's got 34 WAFCON goals and 80 in total for the Super Falcons. So we're looking at a situation where the Super Falcons have to qualify for the 2027 World Cup. Justin Madugo, who is their coach, is under immense pressure, because like Billie Jean King said, pressure is a privilege, but not for everyone. Pressure overwhelms some people, but pressure definitely spurs some people to greater heights. That's where we end Sports Grandeur on OJ 106.3 FM Benin today. We'll be bringing you more news and more developments as we go. Of course, don't forget that this is the place to be. Sports Grandeur on OJ 106.3 FM Benin. Follow us on all social media platforms. We're there to serve you better. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Shalom.